Hello everybody. I'm going to talk to you about a very important astrological aspect, which is the fact that Saturn, which is our great teacher, is moving out of Libra. You Librans are going to breathe a huge sigh of relief. And on October 5th, 6th, it goes into Scorpio, where it stays really for about the next best part of 3 years. So what's this going to mean? Well, Scorpio rules sex. So I think we're going to see sex scandals coming out. I think we're going to see more issues around sex. Maybe the laws around pornography and prostitution might be changed. We may find some changes around gays and how they are going to be treated. It also rules the sex organs. So I think there's going to be a greater focus on fertility, maybe some breakthroughs with that, cloning, and also possibly some advances in designer babies. Pluto rules, this has a Plutonic feel because Saturn is in Scorpio. It gives it this Plutonic energy. And Pluto is in Capricorn. So they're each in each other's signs. Pluto in Capricorn, Saturn in Scorpio is what's known in astrology as mutual reception. Now I know there's a lot of astrologers saying that this is a nice aspect, it's a sextile. Well, I don't see it quite like that. I see that as quite a challenging aspect, and I see things going to extremes. So I think we're going to see people having great losses, both on a personal level, where they're having to declare bankruptcy, and on a global level, we're going to see huge losses from insurance companies. We're going to see fraud like we've never seen before, insurance companies taking premiums from people, raising premiums, and then when there's a disaster, not being able to pay out. So I think we're going to see that as well on a personal level, with an opportunity for many people as well, not only losses, but for great wealth to be accumulated during this time as well. Not necessarily honestly, because the Scorpio energy sometimes puts this down into the underworld. I think we're going to see cutbacks in the police, in security systems, and we're going to have to find our own ways and within our own communities of looking after one another and not looking to governments or people outside organisations to look after our security. I think we're going to have to connect up more. I think privacy issues are going to come to the fore. Our freedoms in the internet may well be curtailed, at least in certain countries. Taxes are going to be a huge focus. Pluto, Scorpio, Saturn, all this involves taxation. So I think they're going to try and raise taxes. Government's desperate to get money coming in. I think there's going to be huge debate on who should pay, when you should pay, all these things. Everything about taxation is going to be coming up. I think we're going to see huge backlash of anti-immigration feelings, particularly as refugees leave war-torn countries and they come to Europe, for example, seeking employment. I think they're going to be blamed for the fact that employment is already scarce and that there are difficulties in those countries. So expect to see more border controls and more difficulties getting around. I think that's going to be how governments start to try to deal with this. As well, there's going to be a focus on death and dying. I think some changes in euthanasia, our choice to die, some changes in the abortion laws, in the death penalty, and how we take care of our old people, because now the baby boomers are getting old, getting to retirement age. There's going to be more old people than ever before. How are we going to deal with that? But at the same time, I think we're going to find some new anti-aging studies coming out with some new anti-aging products and remedies, some of which might be very, very powerful. Whether they're going to be available to everybody is really another question. Scorpio and Saturn together tend to suppress things and keep things hidden, so may only be available to a special few who have a lot of money and can afford it. On a personal level, what should you do? I think the best advice I can give you on a general level without seeing your chart is to get out of debt, not to take on big debts if you can possibly help it. Saturn in your chart is about lessons. For me, it's going to be transiting my 9th house. So I'm going to need to learn how to travel and to work at the same time. Also to learn how to connect with people from many different places, cultures, races. Also learning more languages. That's something I've had to do and I'm now willing to do more than ever before because it's so necessary to be able to communicate and share. It's terribly frustrating to be in a country when you can't speak the language. So that's something I'll be working on as well with this Saturn transit. Maybe it's your Saturn return. Saturn returns you have between age 28 and 30 and around age 56 to 59. And I've seen it manifest in so many different ways with different clients. Sometimes, usually there's 2 big events that happen in your life during a Saturn return. So it could be getting married, getting divorced, having a child, starting a new career, dealing with some health issues, some family issues, relocating. It's all kinds of different ways it can manifest. And depending on where it is in your chart will show which area of your life you're going to need to focus on the most and where the lessons are going to be for this next 3-year period. Could be in your 2nd house, which would relate to lessons around finances, lessons around learning how you spend money, how you view money, how you value yourself, how you charge for your services. So maybe you've got a Saturn return coming up. Maybe you just want to know what this powerful Saturn return is going to do for you and how you can best prepare for it. You might want to ask a question or come for a reading or check out my article because I've done a little rundown on the article on my website for each of the signs, so you'll be able to have a bit of a heads up on it. So, from right now a very sunny Granada in Spain, I wish you a very interesting and thoughtful Saturn in Scorpio time, because it is a time to go deep, to think deeply, and to think about issues of power and control. Where do you need to let go of control, or where do you need to take your power back? These are going to be probably the biggest questions during this Saturn transit. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.